Hello. I believe that architecture holds the key for a better future. But what's very important is that we don't treat architecture the way we have done it before. We actually have to start to treat architecture or the creation of architecture like the way how we create incredible new products and services and ideas as entrepreneurial ventures. Like Uber, changing the world of transportation. Or VR, changing the way how we consume and experience the world. Or projects like Tesla, which changes the game of mobility. In architecture, we have to change the game, and one of them is sustainability. For years and years and years, we were aware that our product, our buildings, pollute our environment. And we have worked really, really hard to reduce the amount of pollution, but we're still aware that 40% of all pollution comes from architecture. So how about looking at a game-changing approach, where maybe our buildings become a positive impact to our environment? And this is an experiment we did with the Museum of Modern Art PS1 in New York a few years ago, where we used a very little piece of scaffolding. We increased it to the largest size possible. And then we filled it up with textile. We stretched the textile into all kind of different directions in the courtyard. And with this textile, we maximized the area of surface that interface between the air and the building. And we coated it with a magical material. It's called titania nanoparticles. It is a material that when it's being hit by the sun, it eliminates pollution. That fabric eliminated the pollution of 230 cars at any given time. And it also just looks sexy and cool and fun and playful. What this actually taught us, that there are amazing new opportunities that we can foster to change the world of architecture and sustainability and create something that creates a better world, but also what is so important to us, that it's not just a technical solution, that it is also an emotional one. And here you see the reaction of people around the MoMA PS1 installation, just celebrating and having fun and engaging with Wendy, our installation for new sustainability. But it didn't matter what really the project did, but it created an emotional connection to sustainability, but also towards architecture between the people. And people really became friends of Wendy, and we have heard incredible stories of people changing the way they were living just through the impact of architecture. And that is something incredible, that we can learn that architecture can change the way how people live, how people act. And there are so many different areas where we can interfere with our built environment. We got this opportunity from the Museum of... that was Wendy. We got the opportunity from the University of Pennsylvania a couple of years ago, where they gave us this old shabby building. And we fall in love with the building because it's beautiful, it's simple, it's generic, it's actually everywhere in the world where you see old industrial buildings. And what we created with this building was an innovation center that triggers innovation by the people inside of the building. But it doesn't just work by revamping an existing structure. We found out that you have to add actually specific strategic programs that are instrumental to change people's way of acting. What we did here was we added a pitch bleacher, an entrepreneur bar, an information center, and meeting areas that in themselves help the entrepreneurs to always come together and learn what they have to do besides just coming up with great ideas. Because we know that innovation comes through collaboration. Something what we experience here at Picnic today, right? Innovation, we maybe have good ideas, but here we make these connections that are so essential for pushing our ideas further into the future. And then as architects, we have this opportunity to shape a building into an incredible experiential form that allows, again, that emotional connection between the people and the building from the inside, but also from the outside. So that investors, that collaborators are attracted to come to the building and meet the people who come up with amazing ideas. And when shaping it, we know that actually buildings become the biggest billboards in the universe. Yeah, bigger than any art campaign that we can generate, and much more long-lasting, which of course also is a warning that it always has to have an incredible authenticity to generate that as a lasting effort. And in the inside, we kept the building extremely raw and simple. There are so many innovation centers in the world, but many of them are just glamorized office spaces or glamorized lab spaces. But here it is different, because it empowers the people to engage with each other and also not stop with any kind of idea they may have to bring to the table to change a building, because it is so raw and industrial and simple, which we sometimes also explain through a personality of a building and also imperfection. There's something incredibly powerful when we take away the ego from us architects, not over-design a building, and create something that is just there for the people so that we empower them to do the things they need to do. You also see that we used architectural elements that are much more infrastructural. So the mega duct, the lighting system, all of these kind of elements just re-engineered in an aesthetic way so that they are supporting the space without overpowering it. And all of this is really here for this reason of connecting people with each other. This is a pitch bleacher. And you all know about that incredible 20 seconds that you have in front of an investor to convince him about your idea. That is what we built into the building already, so that the building makes people ready for these crucial moments and these crucial seconds. And we have seen already pitches happening all year long, where even like children just ran up onto that bleacher and started to talk about their incredible ideas. And now the look back from the bleacher into these different buildings is all kind of transparency, always about connecting people with each other, so that there's an incredible sense of inspiration that goes through the building, so that a bioengineer meets a chemical engineer, because this is where the magic happens. It is about the collaboration, it's about the engagement of all the kind of different people, all the kind of different knowledge to come up with the next big thing. And when we talk about people, and when we talk about the potential of architecture, there is an incredible important topic that we all as a generation have to tackle in our future. And I believe that is actually really the most important innovation that we together can create. Because we together can create better lives. I don't know how it is in Brazil, but everywhere else in the world, there is a crisis that we're facing through an aging society. And what we do as a society, we're creating nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and all of these kind of crazy, horrible architectural products that are there where we store all the people away from our society. And we architects are guilty to be part of this because we take advantage of a product that makes a lot of money but has no regards for really the responsibility towards a multi-generational future. But it also needs much more than a new architecture. It needs actually a new way of thinking within society. First of all, we have to look into aging as a gift, because we have just one shot onto our lives and we have to enjoy it to the fullest. We also should not look at our older people anymore as seniors or as elderly, because they're actually pioneers. Older people come to a moment in life where nobody alive has ever been. So we have support them into that journey of aging and support them with our incredible possibilities for social attributes and also with all kind of informal helps that we have. So this is why we have to make sure to bring people closer again with each other, to engage with each other. Today, we segregate, we don't engage. And we can do that with many different ways to actually allow people to move together into different ways of living so that the people can enjoy in a social community and a collective environment the later parts of their lives. And we can help people to go beyond retirement. I believe that retirement is the worst invention of our society. If you look forward towards retirement, then maybe you have the wrong job. Because it is important that we have meaningful activities all life long. And it can be that we may just change our job from 9 to 5, but we continue with entrepreneurial activities, or we're going to be students forever and engage actively within our society. And we have to make sure that we stay fit and healthy all life long. And there are many different ways. We can go to the gym, we can go to the sports club, but as an architect, I can also build in these kind of informal environments where just activities become parts of daily life. And we have to remember that actually walking up one flight of a stair adds 6 minutes to our life expectancy. And I always wonder why we as architects always just design a kitchen, a bedroom, a bathroom, a living room, a dining room, but never the activity room. Because this is equally important as a typical kitchen is for the nutrition here for all the different activities. And thank you, Uber, for finally changing the game through transportation, because so many places become incredible traps for people where they're not able to move around, and with that actually really become segregated out of their active life in society. And I cannot wait until the self-driving car from Google finally takes off, because that will be a game changer again for so many people. And then we have to turn our homes into a house, or our house into a home, because most people today actually buy apartments with resale value. But we have to actually buy them for ourselves and convert them and transform them so that it becomes safety and security for all of us at any kind of given time in our lives. And not just when we're young and healthy, where we can compensate for the flaws in our architecture. And then we can add services and conveniences by sharing people and by sharing services for some of the help. Or we can start to trade help, which is also, again, an amazing opportunity to connect us with the larger context of society. And aging is tough. And this is why I believe that we have to look into aging, again, as an entrepreneurial component in architecture, but also in our own lives. We can create a board around us to help us to steer our future. And for us as architects, we actually look now into the future of aging by eliminating nursing homes and assisted living facilities to create buildings that are truly intergenerational, that do not follow this idea of a beauty that is rooted in youth culture. It's actually a beauty that comes through character, because when you get older, you build character, and that is something that we can acknowledge. And in this proposal, you see that the building intersects in different components, which are transitional moments of people. The first one is education, the next one is retirement and post-retirement activity, and the third one is healthcare and spiritual growth. And this is a building which can house an average of 1,000 people. And when you look into 1,000 people of all ages, you realize that 150 of them are above 65. And this number in the US will double in the next 30 years. But just 5 people will need medical support. So 995 people are still there to engage and create all kind of activities with the older generation, so that we really create a new intergenerational living again, that we as a society at least in America and also in Europe and part of Asia, have lost over the last couple of years. And this is where I see the potential in architecture on so many topics. I can see it in the social component for reinventing aging through architecture that engages all the different generations and makes sure that all the people can live healthy and happy all lifelong. But also a new idea of sustainability that allows us to create buildings that emotionally activate us to live a more sustainable life within our context. And we have to create buildings that unleash the creative power of all of us so that we empower people with new ideas to bring further our world. This is Shape Tomorrow, where architecture can re-engage with our world and shape a better future with all of us part of it. Thank you.